Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at my Boker collection. Not a lot of people are fans of Boker. I have mixed feelings about Boker, but here are 6 examples, or I guess all of the examples of Boker in my collection. We'll start at the left. These two right here. These are both Decade Edition knives. As you can see here, the Excalibur and the Mini Vanquish. Talk about the Excalibur here first. As you can see, amazing carbon fiber. That pivot's pretty cool too. Blue titanium liners and spacers, and a blue titanium clip. Now let's look at this blade. Look at that. It is a... let's see if I can see it here. Maybe? There we go. 311 of 600. And VG10. And look at that mirror polish on the flats, on the spine. That is just amazing. Here you can see the 2005 to 2015. It's not really wanting to focus. Anyways, this knife is amazing. Love this knife right here. In its standard configuration with the wood, the G10, the 440C blade, was not interested in this at all. When it came out in the VG10 and the carbon fiber, I had to have it. That carbon fiber is just awesome looking. And you can tell it's real carbon fiber. You can see the weaves there in the sides. But this is just a beautiful knife. And the opening is something to get used to. You can either do it with your index finger like that, just bring it around. You can do it with your thumb like that. But this knife is just beautiful. Just a beautiful knife. This is the Excalibur Decade Edition. Next up here is the Mini Vanquish. Also in the Decade Edition. You can tell the carbon fiber. Oops. And look at those blue titanium liners. Pretty cool with, on the mirror polish there you can see the liners. Looks like you're looking at the other side of the knife. You can see some marks. That I was not very happy about. I carried it in the same pocket as some change and it kind of scuffed it up. But look at that blade. That is just amazing. I love that blade shape. For some reason it reminds me of like a butcher knife almost. You can see that thumb stud there. The bolsters, which are stainless steel, the carbon fiber on the handles. You can see those beautiful blue liners. Kind of a goofy clip. It's got a G10 spacer. I can get that to focus. 339 of 600 and VG10. This is another knife that in its standard configuration I was not interested in at all. Show you the centering there. It's just off just a little bit. What stinks about this knife when you do want to adjust it, or if it needs adjusting, you've got to pull this bolster off here, but it's 2 screws, it's not that big of a deal. But no stick on the titanium liner. This is a liner lock, and this was also a liner lock. We'll show you the centering on there. This one has never needed adjusted. Just perfect. But this knife, other than my ZT 0900, this one is one of my smallest ones, but so cool. Just love that mirror polish. Love the blade shape, just the looks of the whole knife, and the materials, the carbon fiber and the blue titanium just set it off. Next is my Boker AK-74 automatic knife. I believe this is a Blade HQ exclusive, I think anyways. Serial number 997, AUS 8 steel, kind of a Bowie style blade. This knife just fires really hard. Clip's kind of goofy, but really like this knife. It does have some play in it, which I think most auto knives have a little bit. But this is the Venom green handles. As you can see, I'm trying to get that to pick up. There we go. Almost perfect centering. Really cool knife. And this one came extremely sharp. You can see that tip on there. Focus it in on that one in the background. It's so sharp. So sharp. And next, the Boker F3. This is a badass knife. I waited for this one to come back in stock for a while. I was watching Blade HQ and GP Knives, and I commented on one of GP Knives' posts on Facebook, and they didn't know they knew they were getting them in, just didn't know when. Finally, I did sign up for the updates on Blade HQ, and got an email that this was back in, and I bought it immediately. Here's where we can talk a little bit about the quality. I got that knife and sent it back the very next day. It had extremely terrible rock. It was very bad, to the point where when it was oh shit, sorry about my tripod. When it was open, I could go like that, and that blade would just go up and down. And it took quite a while to get this knife back. I want to say it took, oh boy, 2 months to get this knife back from Boker. I emailed them. They said they were waiting for another shipment, so that was part of the problem. But got it back in perfect condition. It is just a favorite of mine. It's got a nice satin, nice titanium handles. It does have a lock insert. You can see the 2 screws there. You can see it right there. Blue titanium clip, blue titanium spacer. Vox logo. Here it is. Serial number. And right here is what I was looking for. It shows up. CPM S30V. I believe this is the only knife that Boker is using S30V on. And I think that was part of the price. This was $160, but look at how much of that S30V you get. I think it's 160 thousandths, I think, is how thick this is. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure, but I thought that's what it was. Titanium stick. You got a big chunk of titanium in the spacer. It's just a spring clip, which is very, very strong. I do not like how strong that clip is. The cutout for the lock bar. You can still see the mill lines there, which is pretty cool. But this knife did start to get a little gritty on me, so I did take it apart. And like in my last video about the Kershaw Lahar, I just I used some lithium grease on the pivot and on the detent. And one other thing I did, when the detent hits the lock bar, the detent hits the blade, and the blade has to overcome the detent, that was completely squared off, so I took a file and kind of rounded that off, so it's a little easier to fold up. But there's the Boker F3. Next, we have the Boker Squall. It's hard to get all into camera there. This knife, I really wanted this knife due to the fact of that right there. It's a Charles Marlowe design. Charles Marlowe is from Omaha, Nebraska, which is about 2 hours southeast of where I'm at. So I thought that was really cool and had to get one of his designs. Like I said, this is the Squall. It is running 440C. Now, different places talk about the materials. Some places are saying the bolsters are titanium, and some places saying the liners are titanium. I am leaning more towards the bolsters being titanium, but my Micarta handles, there is a black, guessing maybe G10 spacer. The clip is just a short little clip, which is nice. This is a big knife. It's a 4-inch blade, I believe. I think it's like 9 inches overall, maybe. It's big and super smooth. I love that blade shape. It just looks very cool. I do need to get the Boker Bullpup, which is another Charles Marlowe design. Looks like this, but just a little bit different blade shape, and I think only 3.5 inch blade. So, but this is a tank. This is a very, very big knife, and I like it. I'm not big on thumb hole openings, so I don't really care for that. I'd rather have a flipper or a thumb stud. But it works. The Boker Squall. And lastly, we have the Boker Stingray. As you can see there, a little bit different clip color. I heat colored that clip, and it turned out just amazing. A blue and then into a purple there. It just, in person, in light, it just looks amazing. I did the spacer in the back too, which was a little harder. That's a big chunk of titanium, and my little butane torch couldn't quite get it hot enough. And I don't know, you can kind of tell. I kind of heat colored that thumb disc, and it's a light, very light blue. This is a frame lock, titanium frame lock, over 4-inch blade. My camera is not focused at all. Very, very cool knife. I think this is my favorite. Again, another very, very big knife. As you can see, a frame lock. Now, here's where we get into some more quality issues with Boker. I bought this knife I received it the day before Thanksgiving of 2014. Right out of the box, it was squeaky. It was very, very bad, very rough, and had terrible, terrible lock stick. To the point where I'd have to wedge something like a screwdriver in between the frame and the lock just to unlock the knife. I think I kept it till just after Thanksgiving, of course, that next week, and sent it back to Boker. I guess I should say before that I did take it apart, cleaned it all up. It was really dirty inside for some reason. I used that lithium grease again and assembled it. Took care of the squeak. Actually, it was more of a screech. It was really bad. It took care of that. I was using graphite just from a pencil. I watched the Greg Medford videos, and he said to try that for sticky locks. So I did, and it worked just for a little bit until the graphite wore off, and then it would stick very, very bad. Sent it back to Boker, which I should mention this too. Boker wants you to send Damn it! I did it again. Boker wants you to send $5 for return shipping, just in case it isn't a warranty issue. I did that with the Stingray, and it should have been a warranty issue and did not get my $5 back. I did not send any money back with my F3, and still got it back. Still got the knife back. So if there is any problems with a Boker knife that I get in the future, I will not send the $5 back. That's, I think, a little ridiculous. So that one, the Stingray, was gone for probably about 2 months again. And it come back. It also had a centering issue. It was rubbing on this side here. So they fixed that too. That was about the only thing that was fixed. The lock stick was not fixed at all. Well, it was fixed. I shouldn't say not at all. It was better. So I just put it in my case and let it sit, and honestly, I don't know what happened, but I took it back out maybe after a couple weeks just to carry it, and it had no stick. I mean, that was pretty hard, and there's no stick, and it is smoother than ever. It has no play, and just as smooth as can be. I mean, there's no stick. And centering is pretty good. It's a little off, but not too bad. So I don't know what actually happened in my case, but it transformed, and I'm pretty sure it became my favorite knife. This, I think, is one of my favorites. It's just so big, but so thin. With the coloring I did on the clip, I think that just puts a little bit of contrast in just the bare checkered titanium. So I think that looks cool, and it looks cool hanging out of my pocket too with that nice bluish purple clip. And the spacer and the thumb stud, you know, it just, that blue titanium and just bare titanium, I think, look amazing together. So But that was the issues I had on the Stingray, and it came back, like I said, after leaving it sit for some odd reason. Just became better than ever. This is my favorite one so far. Like I said, a very big knife, over 4-inch blade, but super cool. Whoops. So anyways, the Boker Stingray. The Boker Squall. The Boker F3. The Boker AK-74. The Mini Vanquish Decade Edition. And the Excalibur Decade Edition. Anyways, I would not, I know a lot of people are worried about, of course, Boker's quality. That can be an issue, as you can see. These 4 knives had 0 issues. So I would, and their customer services and warranty is pretty decent, other than having to wait a little while. So I would, if you see a Boker that you like, I definitely say take a chance on it, because there's a good chance that you'll have a good knife. So I would definitely, if you see one, pick one up. Even if you got to send it in, it will come back an amazing knife. So take a chance on Boker. They're getting a lot better. So pick one up if you see one you like. Thanks for watching.